Director of Communications for Oklahoma State University. We're here today to discuss the situation we've had this morning, and the first thing I want to say is that we have done an initial sweep and found nothing suspicious here at the Multimodal facility. We're doing an additional sweep right now with the help of the Highway Patrol. They brought in their bomb unit, and we have the bomb dogs that are sweeping right now to confirm what we found. But again, our initial sweep this morning found nothing suspicious. The call came in at around 8:45 to OSU PD at that time, and it was a bomb threat that was made here at the Multimodal facility, which has the bus hub and also a parking garage behind it. So the call came in at 8:45. OSU PD was here immediately. Within a minute, they came over here and evacuated both facilities. So they took care of the threatened area and began their initial sweep. We then, right before 10 o'clock, sent out a notice to the campus. We waited on that because the rest of the campus really wasn't under threat, but we certainly wanted to notify the campus that we had this situation and they shouldn't be coming to this area. So once we did our initial sweep, we contacted the Highway Patrol. They're coming in, and as I said, they're doing another sweep right now. Once we did our initial sweep, they're now doing an additional sweep. So with that, I think those are the basic details. With me here is Police Chief Mike Robinson of the OSU PD. He also can help with any questions, but our folks have done a great job of responding to this and working with the students. They have actually allowed students to get their cars out of the parking lot if they wanted to. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mike. Mike, if you have any other comments, or we can go ahead and take questions.
Yeah, be happy to answer any questions.
We'll take any of your questions.
So students are actually being allowed back into the garage to get their cars?
They are. We did that after we made our initial sweep and didn't find anything suspicious. And knowing that OHP was coming in with bomb dogs, it's easier to utilize those dogs if we have fewer vehicles in the facility. Plus, we know people have plans. They need to be able to get their vehicles and get to where they need to be. So we escorted them in. We didn't let them just go in randomly. We put an officer or another campus official with them to escort them to their vehicle to allow them to take it out of the garage.
So you wouldn't let them do that if you thought there was still a threat?
Right. I mean, our primary concern always is the safety of our faculty, staff, and students.
Can you describe the nature of the phone call this morning?
Just that we believe that the voice was that of a woman called in, and as Gary said, the threat was specific to this facility. So we responded. We had officers here literally within a minute, began to evacuate the facility. We are obviously doing an active investigation on this, and we are pursuing that phone number to try to identify the caller, and so we'll go all out on the investigation, trying to find out who's responsible for this.
Some students are tweeting about, are wondering why some of the buildings around here weren't evacuated as well, maybe why classes weren't canceled due to the nature of the threat. Can you answer that?
Well, again, we knew the threat was specific to I think the caller used the term, the bus terminal, so it's very obviously specific to this building. And so we were here so quickly and were able to do an initial search so quickly, we didn't think it was necessary to evacuate adjacent buildings, that kind of thing.
What specifically the woman said this morning?
I can't. The call came in not to the police department, but to a campus phone, or the campus operator, and she relayed that information to the dispatcher. And so it kind of went from one person to another. So I can't tell you exactly, other than the gist of the call was that there was a bomb in the bus terminal on the OSU campus.
What about a motive? Why?
I have no idea. That'll be part of the investigation.
And you were mentioning that the initial call came in around 8:45 this morning?
Our dispatch received the call at 8:45. We had officers on scene here at 8:46.
And then an hour later, students received a text. So what about the students that were milling around between the time?
Well, we had officers on site, deflecting traffic away from the area. But really, we debated for a little bit as to whether or not we needed to send an alert since we had this facility secured. That's where the threat was. And then we thought it would be helpful just to deter traffic from coming into the area. So we went ahead and issued that alert at that time for that purpose.
Local phone call?
I'm sorry?
Local phone call?
I believe it was an Oklahoma area code. I don't have the exact number, but I did recognize it as an Oklahoma area code. So, but somewhere within the state is where the phone was issued, at least.
What kind of inconvenience is this? Somebody making a threat that turns out not to be a threat at all?
Well, obviously it's better than a threat that turns out to be a threat, but it does disrupt the operations of the campus. Students pay good money to go to school here to get an excellent education, and this disrupts the process. So that's why we'll investigate this. We'll try to get to the bottom of it, and we'll certainly try to prosecute whoever's responsible.
And we did move the bus hub to another location, bus stop, so we were able to continue the bus schedule. Buses continued to run, and we also opened up the campus parking for students who might have been in there so that they could park at any lots. So we tried to open up the campus a little better to parking and made sure the buses continued to run.
How would you all grade your response in terms of efficiency and timing to this kind of a threat?
Well, I think, as I've said, we were here within a minute, so I think it's kind of hard to beat that response time. And we immediately began evacuating the building and searching the immediate area here. So I don't know how we could have done much better than that. We think we have top-notch people here, top to bottom, and very proud of the way they responded.
You're looking into the motive, but have there been other threats that could possibly be connected to this one?
No, we haven't been able to tie this to anything else to this point. So, but again, it's early in the investigation, and we'll pursue it very actively, very aggressively.
A word to students, if you would, about their safety here on campus.
Well, at this point, there is no reason to believe that the threat was credible. As Gary said, we had done an initial search. We called in the bomb squad because of the size of the building and the number of vehicles involved, just because they can be so much more efficient in sweeping the area with those animals that are trained to detect explosives. And they were very gracious to agree to come to do that. So it's just an extra precaution. We just want to make sure before we open things back up that we're completely sure that there's no threat.
Your opinion of someone that would call in this threat when there is none?
Well, it's a crime. It should be a crime. In my opinion, it's a form of terrorism to do that because you're using fear and intimidation to disrupt the lives of free citizens and innocent people. So I take that very seriously.